Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with something super cool because we've got ourselves another Cretaceous Creations release. However, this time we're straying away from Jurassic World Rebirth and going with a Kaiju. If you are not familiar with which Kaiju you are seeing here, this is the Ion Dragon. It made its very first appearance in the MonsterVerse show Legacy of Monsters. If you do not recall, it's that kind of dragon creature that attacks the ship and everything. It is absolutely awesome in the show. It does eventually fight Godzilla as well, but it's a very cool figure here entering the Cretaceous Creations line, and overall I think it might be one of their more highly detailed figures that they have out. It really does look fantastic. So I'm going to readjust the camera here and then bring it up and take a look at it. Now, one thing to instantly take note of is the fact that this, of course, is created in the same similar style to the Jurassic World Rebirth figures we had seen. So it does have a bit of a chibi sort of style, almost Pop Funko-ish, but obviously way more highly detailed and way more realistic. So starting in the head sculpt, you can very clearly see we've got a super intimidating look here in the head sculpt. We have the mouth wide open with all sorts of teeth in here. The teeth are all sculpted very nicely. They do all sport a very genuine sharp look to them, which is a huge plus. They're also painted perfectly. Like, there is just zero sloppiness when it comes to the paintwork there of the teeth. They are painted with a white, and then you have the inside of the mouth, of course, showing off the tongue, which is very nicely textured, as well as some very impressive fine detail moving up to the inside of the mouth. And you can also see, again, little variations of lighter and darker shades of like pinkish tones, as well as some reddish tones and everything inside the mouth, definitely helping to make the mouth look really quite realistic. And you see the same thing even if you move up here into the gums and everything. They did a really good job when it comes to the paintwork of the figure. But as you lead up into the actual head, you'll see the texturing looks really good, definitely very highly detailed, and by far some of the nicest that I've seen in the line so far. A lot of the Jurassic figures, they have kind of more of like almost like an animated kind of look with the way that they've sculpted out the texturing, but it almost looks like with this one they really set out to show that they can texture a figure very nicely and very impressively, because that's exactly what you see as you move through the head of this very cool Ion Dragon. You can see the eyes are also painted with a nice greenish tone, a very nice dark green. If we move over to the other side, you'll see the same thing again over here for the figure, and obviously you can just in general see how impressive that head sculpt is as you lead along. You do also have some really big horns up here on the back of the head, and even the horns again sport super nice fine detail as you lead out, which you can see. They are also painted with a black tone of color. As you move down into the side of the figure, you have all sorts of creases in the neck, but my camera doesn't want to focus on it. There you go. All sorts of skin, wrinkles, and creases and everything in the side of the neck. As you move up into the arm, look at how good the scale detail is. More like scoots as you move down through the arm. Different varying sizes of scoots. You've got the elbow right there, and of course, more scoots leading down into the arm itself. Also some nice finer scales, and then some scoots down the fingers with the claws sculpted really nicely, definitely having a pretty nice genuine look to them, and painted with a black. We do have a nice dark grayish tone, almost like a grayish blue for the primary body color of the Ion Dragon here. The wings also look really good, on top of just generally looking nice and highly detailed. They do have, again, good bits of realism to them, as well as nice curvatures to the skin leading out with the positioning of the arm. There's also a nice kind of brownish dry brushing that has been given to the wings to help highlight all of the detail. And when you come up here to the back of the figure, you see more really nice texturing. You can also see we've got some more spikes and ridges kind of following down along the spinal column of the figure as you lead down into the other arm. Again, the same style sculpt, but it is in a bit of a different position. This hand here is kind of planted on the ground as the Ion Dragon is kind of crawling along, but the detail is super impressive over here as well. And then you lead up again back up into the wings. You have the same style sculpt, same style paintwork. Absolutely gorgeous, no doubt about it. Really love the curvatures to the skin there in the wings. Then you also have the rear legs as you move back. You've got some nice muscle definition shown off in the thigh and calf. Also, again, nice texturing. Leading down to the foot sculpt, we do have some scoots down the toes. You can see the claws and everything sculpted nicely. Again, painted with a black. It's just kind of hard to get in there because this arm and wing and everything is just kind of obscuring and hiding that area. Moving back up into the back of the figure, you do have kind of almost like a scoot-like appearance moving over the back of the tail with a few more spikes as you lead down, and then you lead out to the actual tail here itself. Again, the ending of the tail, which does have a very interesting look to it with quite a few different sort of spikes leading off of it, which looks super, super cool. And you can also get a kind of like a little view there, a little visual of the other leg over here, but that one is almost hidden just as much as we see on the other side, again, because of the front leg here, kind of, or I should say the arm, however you want to term it, basically the wing. It's kind of obscuring and hiding the leg, so you can't really see it too well. But we also have a little area of a brownish tone here on the underside running down the chest, basically down into the lower part of the stomach before disappearing in like the groin area. But you do even have some nice fine texturing to the underside of the figure. But that thing is absolutely awesome. And as you can see, it's nice and small, so it's very convenient to fit into any collection if you are interested in getting a super cool kind of chibi style version of the Ion Dragon into your collection. As far as the size goes, as you can very clearly see, and as I've already stated, it's quite small. I don't even know how the best way would be to measure it, because I'm just going to have to kind of like stay out a little bit. So about 3 3/4 inches, or around 9.5 centimeters in length, and I just hit them with the tape measure. Height-wise, around 2 inches or 5 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our Ion Dragon from Cretaceous Creations, and as you can very clearly see, it's really quite small. It is definitely the smallest figure that I now have from Cretaceous Creations, but also my first kaiju from them, and I'm really excited to see more if they continue to make them. But clearly you can see, again, size-wise, it's pretty darn small. And then if we were to take the previously smallest figure that I had reviewed, at the very least, from Cretaceous Creations, next to the Ion Dragon, we have the Mutodon here from Jurassic World Rebirth, which you can see the Ion Dragon is a bit smaller than the Mutodon. And then just to give you a really good feel for the size, here is a minifigure, a Mattel Parasaurolophus. Now this is one of the older ones before they shrank in size, because now they're very small. But if you have any of the older Mattel minis, you can very clearly see that the dragon definitely has more body mass, but it's kind of in a similar size. And we've also got ourselves a Captives Indoraptor, which you can very clearly see again. Definitely not a whole lot bigger than a standard mini. I wouldn't quite call it a mini, but as you can see again, it is definitely a bit on the smaller side. Just has a good bit more body mass than a standard minifigure. So this Ion Dragon from Cretaceous Creations is honestly so stinking cool, and also, again, really nice to see because it shows you just how good the actual sculpting of fine detail and texturing and everything is from Cretaceous Creations. They do a great job, whether they're giving you those kind of stylized Jurassic World Rebirth figures or more highly detailed, yet still stylized Monsterverse figures. And this one is really cool because I have not actually seen anybody make a figure of this one, so it's really neat to have one, especially in a very cool chibi style, which is again exactly like the style that you usually get from the Cretaceous Creations brand. Sculpt-wise, it is phenomenal. It has very impressive fine detail throughout, all sorts of realism as well. It also has very nice paintwork, some super smooth application, really nice precise paintwork in the mouth area and the claws and everything. You can really see that they care when it comes to the paintwork of their figures and giving you a quality paint job on your release. They've also applied some nice dry brushing techniques and stuff throughout. It's got a pretty cool pose with the mouth wide open, looking very intimidating, super beautiful curvatures to the wings and the skin of the wings, nice curve in the tail, just again adding a nice bit of life to the figure as a whole. So without a doubt, again, just like with all of the other ones I've reviewed so far, this is a definite recommendation from me. So if you are interested, I will include a link in the description to the eBay shop of Cretaceous Creations. So check that link, pick this up if you want it, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.